Okay, Survivor Season 32, Kaoh Rong. Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty. Wait a minute. Apparently they switched the subtitle order of Brains and Brawn from Kagian 4 seasons ago. Why do that? Inconsistency errors. There you go, marketing team. Anyway, this is a chronological list from the premiere to the finale. And if you haven't seen the season, this is going to be your first and final warning. Full spoilers ahead, top to bottom. From kicking a puzzle to refusing an idol to working 30 jobs, but still finding time in between to fill in as a server at Red Lobster. Here's number 10. There is nothing better to kick off a season of Survivor than a player spiraling for getting caught flipping on their alliance by episode 2. Lies, lies, and more lies. Here's a tip. If you're gonna float a blindside to the people at the bottom, don't then pull a half measure and walk it back. You can't unring that bell.
Alicia, what's the best thing you can do in this game? Be honest. No, that's not the best thing you can do in this game. Getting out the strongest players now while you still can. Listen, you're absent-minded and you drive me crazy. But at the same time, I also like you. Yeah. And not only that, this game is about big moves. I have this thing, they call it low impulse control. I chase shiny objects, so sometimes when I hear ideas, I think, oh, that's a good idea, let's do that. But then, I realize blindsiding Jason is also me blindsiding Scott. So why not let's just be completely honest? Alicia came to me and said, let's do an all-girl alliance.
That was her that threw that out there, not me.
You know what? Hold on. Okay. Please trust the original alliance we had.
Second person voted out of Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty. Jenny, need to bring me your torch?
Number 9 is the bromance between Caleb and Ty over on the Beauty Tribe. Caleb was a former Big Brother player who definitely broed down when he played on that show, but in the case of Ty, a small Vietnamese man, he was smitten with Caleb's cowboy demeanor, and the two of them were joined at the hip until fate and some salt and pepper tore them apart.
I missed you last night.
You missed me?
Yeah. You're cuddlicious. Hey man, I'm cold. Can I cuddle you to warm up? Yeah, man, you can hold me a warm up. I like hanging out with him because he is one of a kind for sure.
Caleb and Ty are the most different people I have ever met in my life. They're just two totally different personalities that you wouldn't think connect, and somehow they just get each other. The bromance is real out here. They bicker like a married couple, and then they kiss and make up.
Totally going for the kiss. Just to shock him and tease him. It's like, I know he can take it. I think he likes it a little bit.
All right, everybody on the crew is essential personnel.
Caleb, you still with this?
Umbrellas,
Caleb.
Coolers, water. Find a spot to help.
Caleb, you know there's only 2 ways you leave this game other than being voted out, and that's quitting, which you clearly are not doing. This is as far as you're going to go. We've got to take care of you.
Thank you. Good Caleb. We love you. He sacrificed himself so we can do this challenge. We're coming from completely different, but first night I cuddled with him. I'm gonna miss him so much.
Number 8 takes us to the final tribe of the season, the Brains tribe, who definitely were an eclectic bunch. Aubrey was over here suffering from the elements. Peter and Liz were over there getting off on how great they were at the game. But when I say eclectic, I really want to focus for a minute or even longer on Debbie. Debbie has described herself as the female coach, and oh boy, yeah, that's pretty apt. I mean, once you go on and hear about her many experiences in life and then notice her constantly changing job chyrons at the bottom of the screen, it's tough to take her any other way.
I've been a photonics manufacturing supervisor, an electronics expert, a bartender, caretaker to nuns, and between jobs I fill in at Red Lobster as a server.
It is absolutely in my realm of experience to be able to judge water just by looking at it. I mean, keep in mind, I've got 20 years experience analyzing water.
We need to be subversive. We need to implant counterintelligence. We need to move with a purpose, Joe. And we need to do it now.
Tribal Council tonight is going to be a total blindside, and it's going to be ugly when we get home, kids. Total blindside. ka-ching, ka-ching. We got a cyanide, triple bond, carbon nitrogen. You're not breaking it between us. And the angular features of his face just make for great photography. And I know that because I've modeled off and on for years and years. I'd bet anything he gets a real modeling contract.
Number 7 is the scratched out vote heard around the world. At the swap, Aubrey doesn't know who to vote for and changes her vote at the last second. Literally. You want a fast track to burning bridges on Survivor? Aubrey, change the parchment, use your brain. Don't show your homework to the whole tribe.
I have to make a decision, and I feel like no matter what I do, it's gonna blow back and bite me in the ass.
Aubrey and Joe are still talking. You ready to vote?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Sixth person voted out. Peter, need to bring me your torch?
I went up there, wrote Julia, crossed it out, and wrote Peter, and I ended up putting a target on my back and on Joe's.
I am absolutely going to write down Aubrey, Joe. Aubrey, Joe. I don't just cross them out until I decide which one I want to go first.
And while Debbie may have been making a point that Nick had the definition of a Greek god, it should be said that the cut of his jib didn't save his blindside from being number 6 on this list. Once the tribes merge, at his very first tribal council of the season, halfway into the season, Nick is blindsided by the women after they flip the game on its head. Michelle didn't need to be carried, bro.
That's gonna be my job from here on out. Making sure Michelle is under my wing and making sure she says the right things and comes across the right way.
The way that Nick speaks to me is not in a way that I would ever tolerate a man speaking to me in my regular life. And I just want to be like, bro, I know. When it comes time to make a move, then I will. I don't need to be carried, bro.
Y'all down to vote Nick now? Nick? Yes. Now that's the person who is extremely up Jason and Scott.
Seventh person voted out, the second member of our jury. Nick, that's 5, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
You know who also didn't need to be carried? Aubrey, as number 5 is when she hatches a plan to cut Debbie loose and send her back to waiting tables at Red Lobster. A masterful 4-3-2 plurality vote is set in motion to work around the boys' idols, and although they didn't play any because they didn't need to, the idol could have been combined to be used after the vote, pretty overpowered. I still want to give this plan its flowers.
This far into Survivor, I need someone who is logical and I know is not going to change course. Right now, we need to talk to Julia. And that's really scary because now Julia, the person I wanted out, is the person I need right now.
Jason, Scott, and Ty really want Sydney gone, but Debbie is someone I wanted gone eventually, so it's kind of who I choose to vote for.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
1 second, Jeff. Damn. But maybe we should give it to Ty.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Giving my idol to Ty.
I accept your idol, and I want to sit down.
Debbie. We're tied. 3 votes Sydney, 3 votes Debbie, 2 votes Scott, 1 vote left. 8th person voted out, the 3rd member of our jury. Debbie.
Speaking of getting carried, hey Ty, could you hold this idol for me? Number 4 is when Ty is given Jason's idol for safekeeping, then gives it back, fully earning the Bash Bros' trust, only to then blindside Scott and Jason at the final 8 when he doesn't hand over his own idol to keep Scott in the game. In my opinion, the biggest move of this season right here. Scott is shocked, Jason is pissed, and I don't blame Ty for a second. Had Ty saved Scott here, he would have been voted out on the revote anyway.
You and Scott will not leave tonight, and I am not either.
We have a super idol.
We're staying.
Yeah. And what's so great about the super idol is we can play it after the vote is read.
I think Ty is someone who wants to be true to himself. And Ty's natural state isn't with Jason and Scott.
My heart say, you know, I like to work with Aubrey, and my instinct is to trust her, but my brain is telling me to stay with the boys because that pisses off a lot of people.
This is a huge vote, and Ty holds all of the keys in this game.
You should wait till the vote is read, and then whoever is voted out, bam. Here you go, bud.
All right, now you guys are both holding one. If anything happens, you play it. If not, you give them back.
Please, 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 please.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. 9th person voted out, the 4th member of our jury, Scott.
What's going on? Wow. Wow.
Scott, the tribe has spoken.
But what's a season of Survivor without a challenge streak to top it off? Michelle ends the season by winning 4 of the final 7 challenges, but most of all winning the final immunity. One of the most clutch wins we have ever seen. That puzzle is one of the most difficult in Survivor history, and at the time of her completing it, she was the only player to ever do so. It's basically a challenge that should be called Michelle's Tower, and that kick is for all the haters who ever doubted her. Michelle would go on to win the season with this challenge, a win that would rock the Survivor community for years to come.
Aubrey has had a big lead throughout this challenge, but puzzles so often are the equalizer. Michelle has been dead last, but she is making a comeback. Michelle has the first level. She's got it. Michelle moving on to the 3rd level. It is going to be close. Can Michelle catch Ty? Michelle making quick work. She's got 3 columns the same height. Michelle's got some momentum now. Michelle has it. Michelle wins individual immunity. Guaranteed spot in the final 3.
But before we reach the end, we've still got number 2 to talk about, because after Michelle wins that challenge, we see a split 2-2 vote at the final 4 occur when Aubrey and Sydney are forced to make a fire to break the tie. You know, back in the good old days when fire-making resolved conflict instead of creating it. Aubrey's underdog arc comes full circle as she goes from suffering under the elements to mastering them, defeating Sydney and punching her spot at the final tribal council.
Sydney, we have a tie. When we have a final 4, the tiebreaker is the fire-making challenge. Sydney has a little bit of flame. If she can keep it going, it goes out. Aubrey's flame is growing now. Sydney getting a lot of spark, just needs to get it to catch flame, and it does for a moment. Aubrey was within seconds of burning through the rope, tried to make one little adjustment and lost a lot of it. Aubrey's fire starting to burn again. It's coming back more quickly this time. This may be as far as it goes for Sydney. There it is. Aubrey survives tribal council.
And last but not least, we have the final moment on this list at the final tribal council. Michelle, Aubrey, and Ty duke it out for the jury to vote their way. It's a pretty emotional tribal, but the final moment here is the actual final moment of this season. We began Kaoh Rong with a friendship that would span all 14 episodes, and it's only right that we end it with one last cluck. That's right, internet. Mark the Chicken was there for it all, through the good times and the bad, through the most brutal season in the show's history, and his legacy will never be forgotten. It was an honor having you along for the ride, Mark.
I'm like running around like crazy. I'm protecting the chicken because I love all living creatures.
Are they attached?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
Here's that. Oh, they seem so much happier.
They're gonna be dead in a few days.
Some people are attached to animals. Ty is one of them people, and that just kind of shows the sensitive side of Ty, and we just want to make sure that we're here for him.
Well, I'll be after you. Get that out. You can just. Oh my God! This is people food. You get your share later.
Ty's relationship with the chicken is a father to his son, I think. He does everything with the damn bird. He probably likes it better than us. At this stage of the game, Mark the Chicken's doing better than me.
Julia, Ty, myself, Jason, and Mark the Chicken. We ate Chinese food and had a couple beers. Everything was really, really good.
See, and Mark will apart. Mark. Let's see. Whoa!
Oh my god.
Off he goes.
Oh yeah, he wanted it.
I gave up hope on eating that chicken days ago. Everyone loves that stupid chicken.
Jump.
Mark's guaranteed to see day 39 right now in this game.
Okay, before we bring this to a close,
39 day. I did everything I can for him up to this day.
Bye, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
And those are what I consider to be the top 10 greatest moments in Survivor Kaoh Rong. Brawn versus Brains versus Beauty, or Brains versus Brawn versus... It doesn't matter. Let me know if there are any other moments we need to talk about. A huge thank you to my patrons for not scratching my name out. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to just grab a new piece of parchment before you vote on your way out, and I will see you in the next one once Mark the Chicken returns for his second chance.
Ty, you look like you're ready for some love. Who you want to see?
The love of my life, Mark.
Mark, come on out. Mark, tell me about Ty.
He's an incredible person.